Hello everybody and welcome to the Holistic Growth Show, where it is my aim to equip students with essential skills that, for some reason, aren't taught in schools. My name is Tim Evertse and I hope you enjoy the show. Once again, I return with a few thoughts that I've been thinking about for quite a while. I guess you could say that I don't even know how long I've been thinking about this. I want to say it's similar to 3 months, maybe 2 months. But yeah, it's interesting because it seems like the common theme for this podcast has just been me thinking and me sharing my thoughts on different issues and whatnot. And I feel it's helpful because one, it helps me to solidify my own thinking, but also, oftentimes when I speak, people find maybe inspiration in whatever I see or whatever. And not trying to sound arrogant or anything, it's just something I've seen. And yeah, I hope that you might be inspired by what I have to say. And yeah, so today I'm speaking about something that I've been thinking about, and that's the idea that life has, you can say 5 or 6 levels. Now, it's interesting because different, it's almost as though you progress through life in different stages, and it's not to do with age, it's not to do with it's more a level of awareness that you around where you are and what your goals are. It's more of that, a level of awareness. So I guess we'll just hop into it. So it's interesting because level 1 I like to call getting by. And it's interesting because a lot of the times when we go to school, we sort of just get taught, you need to get a job and you need escapism. All right. So, and how are we taught that? Well, you go to school, and school isn't often a place where people really want to go. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't go to a school that they enjoy. And so school feels like, the Afrikaans word is terughok toe, like, you're going back to jail in a way, like you go into this prison-like place and you feel burdened when you're going into school. And so then what happens? Every time you're not in school, you feel like, I feel free. I feel like I have escaped, And so that's sort of like an escapism. And people sort of live like that, They go to school, they don't like school, and then they jawl whatever, and then they have fun and they're free. And they go to work, and the job is also like, bad and quite gritty and like not very good in their opinion. And then they have escapism on the weekends, And that's sort of level 1, where school just teaches you to really get by. You just need a job and you need escapism. That's all you need, and then you can get by through life, just coasting through. But then you have people who reach another level, and level 2 is what I like to call get rich. So this is where a lot of people, they seek to live life, but to get through life comfortably. So the idea of, okay, what, I want to make a lot of money. And that's often what people want. They want to have a lot of money so that they can quit their job and be free. They don't have to go to work anymore. So you get rich by whatever you do. Maybe you start your own business. Maybe you invest. Maybe you own properties. Whatever case it be, you make a lot of money, right? And then you find that once you have all this money, you reach level 3, which I like to call be happy. And this is interesting because this is where people find, and we see this all the time, money can't buy happiness. You can have all the money in the world, but you can still be unhappy. This is something that we've been taught, since the dawn of time, I guess, or since rather since, I don't know when we were taught this, but basically it exists, this lesson that money can't buy happiness, and that you can have all the money in the world, but you can't be happy. And a lot of people want that. Now, it's almost like society and people in general are shifting towards not just being rich, but being happy, rather. That's sort of the goal. It's almost like this subtle awareness of, okay, look, what does make me happy? It's things like good physical health. It's things like good relationships. It's things like good mental health. But it's interesting because I found that, at least in my own life, not only is happiness, seeking your own happiness, sometimes it can be selfish in a way, but also it's quite fleeting. It comes back and it goes away, and it comes back and it goes away, because oftentimes your emotions can change. You know, you're living in, okay, well, happiness, different arguments can, whether it's like a state of mind or whether it's an emotion or whatever. Usually, things change. Everyone can agree that sort of, you're not going to be happy all the time. Like happiness can change up and down. Different things make you happy, and different things can happen, and your happiness can change, whatever the case may be, right? And so then you have this little group of people, that are currently sitting at level 4. Level 4 is to be purpose driven. It's interesting because you can have a purpose. Now, purpose can change, but oftentimes, it's more fixed than your own emotions. And so, maybe you feel unhappy sometimes, but you're striving for a cause that you believe in. And so you're purpose driven. And so that is a great source of happiness, because it's not like an emotion that can change all the time. It's like an actual thing that you can feel, that you can touch, you can see in front of you, and it can't be taken away from you. Your purpose, it can change, but it's more fixed than emotions are. You can have decades where you're just focusing on one purpose, and oftentimes your purpose is centered around others. Maybe it's you believe in teaching people, maybe you believe in giving people food, maybe you believe in advocating for people in different areas. Maybe it's human rights, maybe it's things like climate change, or things like you know I don't know, there's different sort of things that you can have, you can believe in, and things that you can have purpose towards, purpose driven. And by living this purpose driven life, you sort of living on a, in my opinion, you're living at a higher sort of awareness of what your goals are. You're living with, okay, I can at least wake up in the morning, I can be happy and everything like that. And you have your purpose that you're striving towards. And it's interesting because I found that, you then, after being purpose driven at level 4, some people get to level 5, which is what I call being a leader or being a pioneer. Now, it's interesting because not everybody who is purpose driven becomes a leader. However, everybody that is a leader or is a pioneer is purpose driven. You have your purpose, and you see, you have a vision that you believe in, right? And it's maybe a solution to a problem that you want to solve. Maybe it's things like access to education, or maybe it's access to healthcare, or maybe it's human rights in a particular domain, or maybe it's environmental impact, or whatever the case may be. It's something that you believe in, and you're able to gather all sorts of people in, people from all walks of life, to come in and invest in your purpose and invest in the vision that you believe in, right? In the vision that you are striving to achieve. And those sorts of people, I think, lead people who are leaders, people who are pioneers. A lot of people look up to them. A lot of people look at them and they see them as, wow, these truly amazing people that are doing incredible things for the furtherment of, well, not the furtherment, the furthering of humanity, for the furthering of society, for the furthering of the human race. And yeah, that's sort of like level 5. You have your level 1, which is just getting by. You have level 2, which is people trying to get rich. You have level 3, where people realize that money can't buy happiness, or at least can't, doesn't lead directly to happiness, and so people focus on trying to be happy. But then you get level 4, where people decide, okay, look, happiness is somewhat fleeting, but having a purpose isn't as fleeting as happiness. And then some people arise to being leaders or pioneers at level 5, where your impact and your purpose is multiplied. You bring in other people in who are all investing in your vision and your purpose and your impact is multiplied. and, greater than it would have been previously. But then, for me personally, I believe there is a higher sort of awareness of your goals in that sense, a higher sense of living. And that is being driven by faith. In my case, it's to be a Christian. To be a Christian for me is the highest form of living. Why? Because automatically you are purpose driven, because you believe in serving God, and you believe in acting on His will, and you believe in doing His purposes. And so by doing something that you believe in, that you agree with, you are living a purpose-driven life. Whether it's to go preach, or whether it's to do humanitarian work, or whether it's to do work in society, or work in a particular domain, whatever the case may be. If you believe you are called to do that work by God, you are purpose-driven. And the other thing is that your purpose can be whatever it is, but you understand that regardless of how big the impact is that you have, you know that you play an essential role in a system. Maybe not a system, but you play an essential role in the grander scheme. And the Apostle Paul in Corinthians uses in his letter to the Corinthians, uses the metaphor of the body. And the idea is that you have different people who are called to do different things by God. You have some people are like the eyes, some people are like the ears, some people are like the teeth, some people are like the fingers, some people are like the hands, some people are like the feet. There's different people do different things, and they are all called by God, but they all play an essential role to the plan going forward. And based on that analogy, you can understand why it doesn't matter what you do, you are essential to the plan. Whether it's something like and it's not to sort of make yourself like arrogant or more important than others. It's just a knowledge and a satisfaction in knowing that I am playing a role in something. And the other thing that someone once told me is that you can even be a vein, a vein that's invisible to like the naked eye, but you're still essential, because without that vein, the body will not function correctly in some way. So you are knowing that no matter what the impact is that you have, you are purpose-driven. And by being purpose-driven, you will often find joy in your purpose, regardless of where you are. So that's sort of, for me, that sort of encompasses all the levels. It doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter how much you're trying to get by. You're purpose-driven, which means you'll find a source of happiness and joy in your purpose, and that you don't really bother about how great your impact is, because you're serving a greater purpose. You're serving God. And so for me, that's like the highest level of living. But yeah, so in all of this, basically what I'm saying is that for me, I believe that my purpose is helping people to reach sort of like that higher awareness of their goals, whether, to take them out of just being trying to get by or trying to get rich, and actually empowering them to, to different places, like, empowering them to be more financially stable, empowering them to being happier, or have better mental health, better relationships, whatnot, empowering them to have greater purpose, and empowering them to, be leaders in their own right. And so so hopefully, through this podcast, I'll be able to take you to all 6 levels, and for me, that's the 6 levels of living. But yeah, enough about me. I hope you have a lush one. I hope that you enjoyed listening to me just talk a little bit. And yeah, I hope that you're able to take something out of what I was able to bring to the table today. Yeah, cheers.